We've got two new rain barrels that I made these stands for, and I sited this placement at the end of January. But guess what? I want to move them around the corner here up against the house. I think they'll be a little more protected from the wind and they won't stick out like a sore thumb. So today's the day. Before I pulled the camera out, I went ahead and moved the platforms and the tables over to the side of the house. And then Rod came out with his hacksaw to cut 6 inches out of the downspout. Now we're going to just try to put this rain barrel diverter, which I'll link in this description down below, into the downspout. We use a file to kind of see if we can make this go in a little easier, but just this alone doesn't do the trick. We file off the uneven edges, but it's still a little finicky to get in there. So we're trying just a knife blade to see if we can pull it out enough to get it in. Rod gets a little frustrated and we decide just to shave off a little bit of the plastic on the rain barrel diverter. Lo and behold, that's perfect. It slides right in. We're able to proceed. The instructions for the rain barrel diverter wanted you to attach the uppermost and the lower part of the downspout to the house before you start. But because we've got these wires to the satellite dish there behind Rod attached directly to the downspout, we had to be careful that we weren't cutting through the wires. So we needed to be able to pull this downspout out from the house a bit. So now we're going to make sure that it is secured to the house. The wires to the satellite dish are screwed into the mortar of the brick. So we are just going to connect a couple zip ties directly to those fasteners. That does the trick. Here's our two rain barrels. I will go ahead and flip the one on the left upside down. We're not going to start filling these until spring is closer. We don't want to risk them freezing, possibly splitting the barrels. This table on the right has a little bit of wiggle to it, so I'm just going to install a little piece of felt, real thick, heavy felt to the bottom of that, and that'll keep it just perfectly level. We'll put our rain barrels back up on top. And then to keep them in place, I use a ratcheting tie-down strap. While these barrels are empty, they won't fly around or move. So we'll put that underneath the tables and then over the top of the barrels. That's what I'm doing here. We'll tighten that up with the ratchet, and then I'm looking to make sure that this diverter is turned off. So that will mean the water will go down the downspout, but just to make sure, I'm going to clamp this hose that will eventually run into the rain barrel to the front. So just in case there is any leaking, it will go out to the front of the rain barrels and not against the house. Our next project is to take the pallet that I burned up in my compost pile and cut off the burned part of it so we can use just this partial piece of pallet back in the compost area. Luckily, the new pallet that I got to replace the other one, which was more burned, is a bigger pallet, so I only really need this half a piece of pallet to go into the compost area. I'm Jackie from Famished Farm. If you have seen me before, I use my hand cart to tote things around the yard. The next project, number 3 for the day, is to take this blue tarp that is deteriorating in the sun, just shedding little pieces of blue thread all over the place. We're going to get rid of that and replace it with a heavy-duty canvas tarp. This tarp is protecting our lawn rake that goes behind our riding lawnmower and whatever else Rod throws under here. We eventually hope to put a little lean-to shed in this area to store these things in, but for now, a tarp is in our future. Indefinitely, I hope. I hope we can get to the shed project later this year. Part of the tarp so it won't get caught in the wind. Rod has some blocks. I think they're just 12 by 12 patio blocks that we'll use to secure it. And that has been working with the blue tarp, so I don't see any reason that it won't continue to work with this canvas tarp. We're having a little bit of a warm up in the weather this particular day. We're going to break for lunch right now, and when we come back, we'll have hopefully a little bit warmer weather to deal with, and we'll get the rest of our projects done. So here we are at the other location of our 4 additional rain barrels. This Oatey brand rain barrel diverter doesn't have an on and off. so you have to winterize it. And I'm just kind of tired of it leaking, and I'm trying to solve that problem. So on the reviews on Amazon of this product, someone suggested this black pipe that you'll see in the bottom right that we're going to use as our winter diversion. Now, I'm not too worried about it freezing, at least I'm hoping I'm not too worried about it freezing. Time will tell, but we're just going to give this a try and see if this will solve our problems. The kit comes with several ends that you can use, but we just want to use the pipe and the attached hose clamp to attach it to the barbed end of the Oatey diverter. You can see here how we're going to do that. And then this is what the system looks like. This 30 feet of black pipe, we're going to secure it with zip ties at the bottom. I don't think it will blow around because it's right against the house. And then we'll also secure it to our main water flow from the downspout, this 4-inch or 6-inch pipe, whatever it is. A couple zip ties in the middle. And then at the very end, I'm just going to use a landscape clip to put that right into the lawn. Rod moves these when he mows, so it's not a big deal. Our next project is out in the front yard, and that's putting these little white protectors on our new dogwood trees that we've planted. And this is mainly so when Rod is running the lawnmower, he can identify where the trees are, and he hopefully won't run over them with the lawnmower. And we're going to use a piece of rebar. This is just a 2-foot piece of rebar. We sink it down into the ground about 12 inches. And then we will zip tie the little plastic protector to the rebar. I'll put a link in the description to these particular little protectors, tree protectors that we used. I went basically by price and what looked like it would be easy to install. Oh, the little piece of grass down there around the bareroot tree, we're just going to mulch it with a little bit of sweet gum pods. And then later this spring, we will get the rototiller out and give a bigger round of cleared Bermuda grass that will hopefully allow these trees to really take off. For now, this will do. It's wintertime. These are not going to be growing a huge amount, although we do have some nice warm weather coming up, so maybe we'll get a little bit of growth out of these new trees. So this one is done. We will put some sweet gum pods around the base and then see how we did. You will notice that there is one of these trees out of line, and I'm debating about digging that up and correcting it. But our final project for today is to make Rod's welding table. And this we bought from Harbor Freight. I want to say it was roughly $130, $150. It's a very heavy duty table, work table. So we can put away the workbenches with a piece of wood, and he can instead use this beautiful table. Beautiful and functional. There is room on the bottom to put a shelf also, which we're planning on doing. That's it for today, guys. I'm glad you were here. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already to see what other projects we're going to be working on as we come into the spring season. Goodbye from Northwest Alabama.